Good evening.
All is calm, all is still on this
It,
night of nights.
it is. It is. Sorry, I'm late. I was just had to use some mouthwash so I could smell nice and minty fresh for you this evening.
Thank you very much. Have you been on a date? I should say that this is not our normal Sunday morning slot. We are recording on Saturday
Well,
night. It is actually Sunday
it,
morning, isn't it?
yeah, it is Sunday morning though. So ticking those boxes.
Are you having to murmur especially quietly so as not to disturb your companion?
Yeah, this is my companion who's asleep right now.
And what is that teddy bear's name?
One of many companions that I have that lay their head upon my pillow.
So I have to admit today, the other day I had a theory. The theory was that we are sometimes more sharp, more alive, more electric in the evening. And today I'm regretting that.
Yeah, I was just not feeling it, but let's see how it goes, and let's just get in the flow.
I have this paper. By the way, viewers, this is Horrid Wizard and Friends. I am Uqbah, I'm the Horrid Wizard, and this is Aaqib, who I call Babar, who is my friend. And this is the most underwhelming video podcast that your tiny mind can ever imagine.
I was just talking to some family members about this because I was playing snooker, and I've just literally come in. And I said, "Did you watch last week's video cast?" No, basically what I said was,
yeah. So already schoolboy era. We
Yeah.
never beg for views. We pretend that we don't care about the views. Asking somebody if they have watched last week's video cast is a crass misrepresentation of what we are trying to achieve here, which is to uphold creative expression for its very sake.
If you'd allow me to speak, Your Honor.
It's not important for you to speak. You're just eye candy.
And this is it, you see. You're nothing without me. The words just bounce off me. So basically, following your instructions, I sent it to as many people as I know. I only know my family and you.
Yeah, you only know your family and me. Great start.
And I said, oh fuck, I gotta do this show this evening. Literally, I'm not joking. That's exactly what I said. And one of my relatives said, "Oh yeah, I listened to half an hour of it." And I went, "Great, you listened to the whole show then?"
I was going to say, it's only half an hour long normally.
Yes. Good stuff. I actually made some notes for today, believe it or not, because I've had a pretty relaxed day.
I haven't made any notes, so as many things as you can say, the better. I mean, I have got a couple of quotes for later.
Here's a quick one for you. Put you on the spot, right? So if you were a mining company in Africa, let's say DRC, for example, and
so I would be an actual murderer. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and you were mining a special metal that is used in most mobile phones around the world, which is called tantalum. And if you were to get angry, you would throw a
hissy fit, probably, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you name your company? Bearing in mind that you would.
So can you spell what is this metal that I'm mining? Tantalum, did you say?
Tantalum, yeah.
I'm going to Google this using.
It's derived from
my iPad. So it's derived from what? Coltan, did you say?
Coltan.
Tantalum.
You're just taking it away from what I'm trying to say here.
I am very fascinated. Okay, all right. I've found some Chinese people, so I think I've typed in the wrong spelling.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Okay, so what's your question again?
It was a tedious link. So if you were to be the mining company that mines this specific element, mineral, which is used in every single smartphone, by the way, it's like a coating for all the metal bits.
Okay.
And you were a very cooperative mining company who cared about the well-being of your miners and health and safety.
You've lost me already. I can't think of a mining company caring about the well-being of their miners.
If you were a cooperative mining company, what would you call yourself? Yeah, let me just stop you there. It's called Cooperama.
How was I gonna get that?
No, just building it up. You know what I mean?
Now, if you could have like said, look, it's also a little bit of a throwback to an 80s and early 90s pop duo, then I might have got it through that means. But still, I think some of our younger listeners aren't going to get
They
these
won't know.
references.
I was thinking maybe more of a cartoon, a cult cartoon. They might have got that.
Well, that's that. No, that's the banana reference, not the
No. I was
Corporama.
talking Futurama. I was referring to. Come on,
Oh,
get with it.
okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought because I referenced
Awfully thick tonight,
Bananarama,
aren't we? Awfully thick tonight, mate.
you were talking about Banana Man, which is a very excellent cartoon, by the way.
Eric.
So, okay, so there's a mining company called Corporama in DRC who are involved in mining a metal that I can't pronounce that is used in every smartphone in the world. And this isn't, see, I haven't seen the latest Bond film. This is not the plot of the last Bond movie, is it, by any chance?
The plot of the last Bond film is to do with some sort of virus that will spread the world, that's controlled by some sort of
Okay, don't tell me because I haven't watched it yet. It's on my
it's something like that.
Yeah, okay. And what was the point of telling me this? Sorry, was it just to test my knowledge on tantalum?
I just wanted to call you a thick fucker today.
Are you basically just reading out your notes line by line?
No. I've actually got the next line set up, but I'm going to bring that in quietly.
Okay, all right, okay. Because I have read about two things this week. One I touched on, I think maybe in the last show, which was about English heraldry and heraldic symbols on flags. So if you want to speak about that, I've got a web page here and I can tell you some shit about that. But
and you're going to read from a web page.
Well, yeah, that's what most entertainment is. I mean, when you're doing doom scrolling on your smart device, what are you doing? You're just reading from a web page, effectively. The other thing, which is more relevant to us, is that you know how HS2 is coming from the south of the country to our region. They keep finding these Roman cemeteries and early civilizations remains, and they've dug up about 40 graves. So, clearly the lease ran out on those graves.
On that plot of land.
Yeah, from about 400 AD. And they are Roman remains, and they are all beheaded. So their heads were in the graves, but they were separated from their bodies. And apparently, so about 410 AD, it says decapitation was a normal, albeit marginal part of burial.
I have a question.
For criminals or a type of outcast. So okay, that at least explains the beheadings. Go on, what's the question?
Imagine being that person. I mean, what type of person would literally match the heads to the bodies? Because they roll off and roll, isn't it? So heads will roll is the saying, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm sure there's some kind of categorization system that they would have had.
Can you imagine? Be like, yeah, let's have a laugh. Let's have a laugh. Let's put this head on this one.
Well, that may be the case. I mean, if they do further analysis.
Can you imagine the rest of the anatomy and the bodies and the bones show that it was a male, but the head shows that it was a female? Wonder what happened there.
Can you imagine that's what the early spreadsheet was invented for, to categorize which person's head should be associated with which body? It says here that HS2 is not required to rebury them, unlike those exhumed from Christian grounds. So the fact that they were not Christians and they were just a random, what does it say, criminals and outcasts.
I feel like tendering for that contract,
They are not required to be reburied. So these people have been disturbed, and
I shall petition for them to be reburied, and I shall also tender for that contract.
Ironically, it does say at the end, all human remains uncovered will be treated with dignity, care, and respect, and our discoveries will be shared with the community. When they say shared with the community, what there was like, they're gonna donate the bones to a local kennel or something. I mean, what do they mean by shared?
I have no idea about that. Maybe imagine some Roman broth.
Yeah, I mean, if it's been aged properly, like this has clearly, then presumably it's reached a certain level of maturity. But yeah, I mean, look, this led me to think that my final resting place may not be final, if indeed it's going to be, you know, some future technology requires digging up
You're
through
either
that
going to
land.
be dissolved in some sort of chemical, and then probably be used to coat, processes and things in mobile phones. Can you
See,
imagine?
I'd quite like to think that there's so many useful parts of me that I could just be used to save people's lives with like pretty much all my organs, and then they'll just have like some snot left over that they'll bury in a little jar or something. And then, you know, I can, but having looked at my recent blood results, I think this is very unlikely.
You know what it is? I was going to mention your lung capacity because I've been spending a lot of time with you recently, and I've noticed that.
Yeah, there were a couple of
I
long
don't.
sentences I was failing to finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to inherit your lungs. I think I'll stick with my own.
Yeah, I don't understand how I've swerved COVID up till now, but if it comes from me, I will certainly perish. Another thing from last week, Pitcairn Island. You know, I was telling you about one of the islands in the Pacific being extremely remote. That is called Pitcairn Island. If anyone wants to Google it, its population is about 50 people, I think. And when the International Space Station goes over the Earth, those are the nearest human beings to those islanders, because
Wow.
they're in the middle of the Pacific, and I think there's like every 2 or 3 weeks a ship goes and takes them some supplies, and then that's about it.
There's
That's
another amazing fact in line with your geography theme right now. I'm just going to
yeah.
Google and make sure that I don't make a mistake because I don't want to offend the people of DRC.
Yeah, okay, you don't want to offend the people of DRC.
Yeah, Kinshasa. Yeah, Kinshasa is the capital city, right?
Yes.
And I
Is
think it's
DRC what used to be known as Zaire?
yeah, that's the one.
The very funny, the famous,
Where
the famous World Cup free kick where it was thought that they didn't know the rules of football when they qualified for the World Cup and took a free kick wrongly several times.
very tedious link. I don't know. I don't give a
that
fuck.
wasn't actually the case. Okay,
Really
sorry. Yeah.
couldn't give a shit. But the point I wanted to make is it's the place in the world,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
where French is spoken the most, believe it or not.
Sorry. What?
French is spoken as a country,
as opposed to France. Yeah.
as opposed to France.
So we're ruling out France for now.
Yep.
And we're going straight to DRC.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a fact. Anyway, because I've been literally YouTubing and roaming around Africa this week, and Namibia is a place I would like to visit. I love that desert because I'm a desert kind of bloke, me. But yeah, I can see that you're googling it just to check my facts.
I'm definitely googling it on my my iPad.
But anyway, I had a Larry David moment today as well. While you do that, not today, a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to talk about it last week, but I went to buy some milk in inner city Birmingham.
Okay, this is already a Larry David moment now.
Yeah, Larry David now. About 9:30 in the morning, you know, you want your coffee. You want your coffee. You want to get a nice little bottle of milk for your coffee. So I went into a inner city shop that would be open at that time in the morning with various beverages, hookers, and now when I mean hookers, I mean hooker pipes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can
even that. I think
if you want to clarify, if you want to clarify, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to.
And they sell all sorts there, but I went to get some milk. So as I paid for my milk, now I felt like Larry David at this moment. As I walked out, I didn't realize what had happened, but I was paying for the milk, and behind her like screen that they placed for COVID, she asked me if she could have a drop of my milk. And I said, I beg your pardon? And I said, of course you can. So I didn't know what to expect at this point.
So you just went along with this. A stranger has asked you for a drop of the milk that you have just purchased.
No, a drop of my milk. Yeah.
Yeah. You've just purchased.
Yeah, and I went.
And you said okay, because you kind of never say no to such a stranger. And then she
disappeared to the back, and I'm thinking, do I follow her?
Sorry, did she have the milk with her when she went to the back?
No, she went to get her vessel for the milk.
Okay, all right. You can say mug. I mean, you're allowed to say mug. if you want.
Yeah, I just want to leave it quite open because I want people
Okay.
to take this however they want.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, sort of, it's a race to the bottom, isn't it? This video cast.
So I said, yeah. So anyway, she put her mug forward.
In more ways than one.
Lovely mugs there were as well. And then I just poured the milk. But as I walked out, she said, "Thank you very much. I'll pray for you." I'm thinking, yeah, prayer would be nice in this day and age. But I walked past a fridge full of milk. I don't get it. What happened there?
Had you sort of had you wandered into a black church by any chance?
Probably. I don't know. Hallelujah. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
And you weren't sort of dreaming or under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
I wasn't dreaming. I don't know. I mean, it was real because when I went to my office and the milk was open, so I presume it happened.
Is anything real though? I see. I've been watching the current affairs discourse of this week, and as you can imagine, it's quite a politically turbulent time, and I'm starting to question whether anything is real because I'm reading about the same incidents, and in some reports they happen, and in some reports they didn't happen. So now
It's just been an absolute farce this week.
And
hasn't it?
I feel like I'm in some kind of quantum state or a strange dream, and actually maybe anything could happen in this world. So maybe maybe you have been lied to about this milk, and you didn't even lift.
I think I've been lied to about everything. I mean, this week has just put just like the cherry on the top. I don't know what information to take, how to process it. All I can say is my dad refuses to pay the government extra. All these energy bills are raising and going up, and he's like, "Why should we pay? I'm not paying it." So I'm like, okay,
well,
just sit in the cold then.
Yeah, that's the other. There is an option, luckily, and that is to sit in the cold. Fortunately, we have a politician who is actually helping us to make sense of it all. And that is the quote that I've written down. Well, it's actually more of a headline. It said that I saw. It says, "Ex-London Mayor Ken Livingstone says humanity will be wiped out in 80 years." So,
Really?
so if just in case you were sort of concerned about things at the moment, the good news is there's not much more of it to go, and then we can all have some well-earned rest because of ex-London Mayor Ken Livingstone. If any of you remember Ken Livingstone, you will
remember
realize
him. I'm just realize what he looked like.
Yeah, and I think he's been thrown out of various places. I just had a thought, Barbara, if we're going to do this more often in the evening, and I don't think this experiment has gone well at all, but if we are going to, then maybe we should do it from a bed like Bert and Ernie, or
well, Bert and Ernie, Bert
or even Eric and Ernie, Morecambe and Wise.
Morecambe and Wise, yes. Nice reference to my childhood there. Both of them, actually.
Or Lauren and Hardy, they used to broadcast from a bed. That was quite wholesome and nice.
The reason why Bert and Ernie used to sleep in the same bed, well, some assumed, we all know why they were in the same bed.
Is it because they were a gay couple?
Possibly.
You can say it.
Am I allowed to say that?
It's 2022. I've just checked.
Okay, great. So they're possibly grey puppets.
And and more power to them. But that was never. Was that ever established? Like they didn't have like a final episode, did they?
I think they left it open.
That's quite a compelling way of finishing things off. I am becoming increasingly disillusioned with TV. I used to think that it's only the younger generations that are consuming TV in the way they're consuming it, which is mainly online, on demand, curated, bespoke content.
Yeah, it is. I actually experienced that today. Saw some of my nieces watching specific programs on YouTube, and I'm like,
yes. So it's interest-based. It's interest-based watching. So they will decide what they like first, and then seek out a content creator who specializes in that content, and then consume it at a time that's convenient to them. And I've realized that I've sort of drifted to this model as well. So I am probably next month going to cancel my Sky subscription when it comes up for renewal, which is probably the first time since I was about 18 that I haven't had some kind of television
TV.
provision. And
Oh,
I
dear.
think that that's going to be quite a freeing experience, and I shall feed back on this on future episodes.
Yeah, you should do, and you should take all your clothes off and run around the house naked, liberated and emancipated from your freedom.
Well, that is the ultimate eureka moment, isn't it? That's the principle of epiphany.
When you do that, please either FaceTime me or invite me around.
Well, you'll probably just be here anyway. I don't even know why we do this online thing, as we see each other so much. It's harder to do this online, actually.
Yeah, because everything comes natural when we're together, and this is a little bit like, oh, the cameras are on us.
Strangely, I think that we are the same when we are off camera.
Yeah, we're like this, absolutely.
I can't actually think of anything different that happens. That's fine. I was going to talk about corruption, but I think that's more than enough for today, because
yeah, but I was going to ask you a question before.
Yeah.
Before
Yes,
end.
you were. You were going to come full circle from something else that you mentioned
why
earlier.
are things so fucking expensive?
Oh, okay, right. So I have a theory.
Yeah, go on.
And my theory is so it's going to be difficult for some people to grasp, and I'll try to say it as clearly as
all the words you want, because I know you will anyway.
I'll try to say it as clearly as I can, because you see, the public in general, you could say, have been conditioned maybe not to think in this particular way that I'm going to answer your question. But essentially, it boils down to us being governed by wankers. And so once you realize that every single person that governs us and is stationed above us is just a thundering, walloping, wanking buffoon, then you can start to appreciate the general state of things. Then actually, this solution supplies the kernel of knowledge that you will need to understand many phenomena. In addition to inflation, you can and price increases and supply and demand crises. And
trying to keep a straight face here as we come to the end of the show almost, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
I think you've been awfully kind, though.
That's well, yes, I've tried to say this in the kindest, but in I could say this in stronger terms, I think.
I have a word.
Go on then.
Twats.
Yeah, so that is, I would say, commensurate with the level of discussion that we're having currently.
Fantastic. Awesome.
What have you got planned for tomorrow?
To be honest with you, I've taken on some unnecessary freelance work, which I'll be doing in the morning, first thing.
Very good.
And then be attending a wedding that I don't want to go to, because I don't want to see anybody else, because I want to stay at home and stay in my room all alone.
Yes. Is this after the last incident at the wedding in which you were compelled to catch the flowers that were tossed over somebody's head?
Yeah, no, that was a really good wedding. Oh man, that was a fucking awesome wedding. Yeah, that was a bad boy wedding.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Have a good night.
You too, friend.